With two Cerebrates out of action, the way has been made clear. In the past, when Zeratul slew Zaz, the Overmind fell into a comatose state to recover, and has now entered into a similar hibernative state. With his defenses lowered, our forces can safely gather outside the Overmind's lair.
Executor, our plan worked perfectly. The Zerg defenses are broken, and the way to the Overmind is laid bare. The time for our stand has come.
Zeratul has no doubt wounded the Overmind, but it is still protected by two of its most capable Cerebrates. Cerebrates Dagoth and Erich, in command of the Tiamat and Jormungand broods. They will defend their father, in hopes to protect it long enough to recover and push back our forces. Tassadar takes a moment to reflect on our recent battles and the tribulations we have faced.
Indeed. My friends, this is our final hour. Not all of us may survive the coming conflict. Yet, death may be a blessing should we fail here. We seek now to destroy a foe that has ravaged its way across the universe, consuming all in its path.
This is our only chance to save Ire. No, the galaxy, from the ceaseless hunger of the Overmind. If we fall here, then we would be the lucky ones, granted the mercy of a swift death, instead of witnessing the horrors which await in the wake of a Zerg victory. Millennia have led up to this moment. The nightmare of the Zerg swarm pitted against the fathomless potential of the Protoss, meeting here for their final stand. Estranged children of the Xel'Naga, fated to duel for their survival in this epic final battle.
And now, it has reached the end of its long journey. The Overmind has come to destroy all that we hold dear and assimilate us into itself. And I say to thee, this shall not come to pass. Ire shall not fall. Executor, I stand ready.
As do I.
After calming his mind and steeling his resolve, Tassadar stands ready to face this challenge head-on. He blesses us with words of courage, declaring us his dearest friends and strongest allies. Zeratul whispers with approval. He is with us, ready for whatever may come. Phoenix, while still recovering from the Defiler's plague in our last battle, stays in our reserve, but we know his fiery spirit is with us in the heat of combat. One unexpected ally yet stands at our side, respected for his resourcefulness and valor. Jim Raynor, only a man, but who has become a legend, fighting through this drama since its beginning. He's borne witness to the rise of the swarm in Terran space, toppled the oligarchy that was the Terran Confederacy, and, tragically, brought Emperor Minsk to his own seat of power. He's even seen the birth of the Queen of Blades firsthand and survived to tell the tale, and now stands as our comrade in the Third Protoss Civil War. Truly, Jim Raynor is an ally not to be underestimated.
Well, I guess all I have left is to see this through. The Zerg have taken everything from me. My home, my family, my friends. I know that nothing I do can bring those things back. But I'll be damned if I just sit on my hands and wait for the end. I want a piece of them, all right. I'm in.
Then let our actions speak for us. For Adun. For Ire.
For Adun and for Ire indeed. Well said, Tassadar. As we step forth to face what could be our final battle, we receive a hailing signal from the remaining Conclave survivors. Aldaris, in a rare display of humility, accepts that the path we walked was true, and had they seen the error of their ways sooner, perhaps we could have saved many more lives along the way. Nevertheless, rescinding our exile and admitting that we are, in fact, the shining example for all Protoss in an encouraging display of warmth. Thank you, Aldaris.
Executor, Tassadar, this comes too late to you. But the Conclave has witnessed your defeat of the Cerebrate. They know now that they cannot deny the necessity or the valiancy of your actions. We sought to punish you, while it was we who were in error. You represent what is greatest in us all, and all our hopes go with you. Entaro Adun, brave sons of Ire.
Wow. Does that mean they're gonna send some backup for us?
For the first and only time in the Starcraft campaign, we are given command of two separate races. Raynor and his forces to the northwest, along with Tassadar and Zeratul forces to the southeast. While the Overmind's exact location is unknown, we can surmise that it is located near the center of the battlefield. Our Protoss forces have an abundance of Vespian gas, but are placed in a rather precarious location. It cannot be well defended without expanding to the high ground. The Terran location, meanwhile, is laden with minerals, and while it does have some nicely defended choke points to the east side, the south side of the base is completely exposed. We focus our efforts in building up our base defenses, as Dagoth will no doubt be as vicious as ever in protecting his bedridden papa. For the first time, we are given command of the mighty Gantrathor carrier, with Tassadar at its helm. The interceptors this carrier deploys are the same strength as normal interceptors, but its plasma shielding and robust health pool, a whopping combination of 1,300 total health and shielding, make Gantrathor the tankiest unit we have ever controlled, putting Raynor's Hyperion battlecruiser to shame. We establish our forces well, and once we feel comfortable with some scouting, we begin seeking the additional resources necessary for funding the insane cost of constructing two separate armies. We find a rather defensible mineral site north of our Protoss base. We take advantage of its choke points and set up a secure blockade on the north side of our base.
Thus I serve. For Adun. We are under thus I serve.
We continue scouting out more resource locations, opting to have the Protoss build at these sites instead of the Terran due to their automated defense systems. Soon after our forces leave the Protoss base, we are attacked by a small group of Mutalisks and Ultralisks, who are pushed back by Tassadar and Zeratul without issue.
We are under attack.
How may I help? Yes, Executor?
The attack did, however, destroy all of our photon cannons protecting this area, and before we can catch our breath to warp in replacements, another attack, this time a massive wave of Ultralisks and Guardians, pressed the assault.
We are under attack. We are under attack.
Zeratul faces these monstrous foes head-on, giving us precious time to warp in our replacement cannons. If it were not for Zeratul's stealth capabilities, he would surely have fallen. As our observers putt around the battlefield, locating more potential expansion areas, we decide it's time to go on the offensive. Raynor and his men position themselves to a plateau overlooking one of Dagoth's resource bases, and quickly deploy some siege tanks in the area.
Oh yeah, this should be good. Let's move. Raynor here. Going ahead. We can all reach you.
a squad of Marines protecting the tanks and a ghost dropping a quick nuke, Raynor's raiders quickly rout this base and begin assaulting enemy territory.
I'm here. I'm all over it. This should be good. This should be good. Oh yeah. Destination. Go, go, go. Raider here. System sold. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Delighted to, sir. Absolutely. Delighted to, sir. Go ahead. Conway online. Channel open.
Warriors have engaged the enemy.
Zerg begin pouring out of all sides to push us away from the sleeping Overmind. We seize the moment and initiate a flanking maneuver to the southeast with our Protoss forces. Despite our fewer numbers, we make a sizable dent to the enemy forces with our modest fleet and begin wiping out more of Dagoth's bases.
Warriors have engaged the enemy. Upgrade complete. Warriors have engaged the enemy.
Both of our armies whittle down Dagoth's forces, but Cerebrit Erich mounts a counterattack, unleashing his Ultralisks and Hydralisks upon us.
Jacked up and good to go. You want a piece of me?
This attack, however, is for naught. We already had reinforcements on the way. Tassadar and a complement of carriers and dragoons sliced through the south portion of the Cerebrit Erich's base, eventually meeting up with Raynor and his forces.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
You want a piece of me, boy? Raider here.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Orders, sir.
Our Marines have dwindled in number, but now we have a couple more battle cruisers to support Raynor. And at last, we reach the Overmind and commence filling its hide with lead.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
This should be good.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
What few Zerg forces remain rush our soldiers in desperation and are soon blasted to bloody pulp, just like their precious Overmind. With its body savaged into a weakened husk, Tassadar reminds us that while we have weakened this great foe, we have done so at heavy cost to our own forces. And unlike us, the Overmind can probably regenerate. Solemnly, Tassadar comes up with a final plan, which will hopefully put an end to the Overmind, once and for all.
Executor, the Overmind has been weakened, but I fear we have sustained severe damage ourselves. I will steer the Gantrathor into a collision course with the Overmind. If I can channel enough of the Dark Templar's energy through the hull of the Gantrathor, I should be able to bring swift death to the accursed abomination. Remember us, Executor, remember what was done here today. May Adun watch over you.
As the chaotic, swirling energies subsided, a heavy silence settled over the battlefields of Ire. Due to Tassidar's noble sacrifice, the Overmind was now dead, and the Zerg swarms were scattered and broken. But as the heroes surveyed their once glorious homeland, they realized that their victory had cost them all but their lives. Ire was left nothing more than a smoldering ruin. Those few Protoss who survived the final battle could only wonder what the future would hold for their race. And far away, on the distant planet Char, Kerrigan, the self-styled Queen of Blades, knew that the time of her ascension was at hand. Hey gang, Chonky here. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. This has been a wonderful labor of love, and honestly, completing this project over the last 6 months, being the complete story of Starcraft 1, honestly, I've loved every minute of it. It's been fantastic. Now, with Starcraft 1 being done, of course, Starcraft Brood War is on the horizon. But before we get to that, I did want to cover a couple of the books. I've mentioned this in a couple other end segments in some of the other videos, but I will be covering the books Liberty's Crusade and Queen of Blades. Now, I picked these books because they shed a lot of interesting perspective on some of the key events that happened during the Terran and Zerg campaign, and I think it would be really interesting to cover those with you guys since they're pretty relevant. And, you know, what I'll be doing is I will do a couple chapters of video and probably have a beverage or two, but it'll be a lot more lighthearted, and I'll probably be a little bit more enthusiastic, or, you know, show a little bit more emotion, as opposed to the Stories of Starcraft videos where I know I'm very stoic and monotone and like I'm reading a book, because that was my original intent. And one other thing before I go, I just wanted to say, if you enjoy my content and you would like to help support the channel, if you haven't subbed already, please do so. Looking at my analytics, it shows about 91% of you guys that watch are not subbed, and even if I can just get to 1,000 subs, then I can actually get a little bit of ad revenue, because so far all of the videos I've made, be it for Starcraft or Dungeons of Sandaria way back when, all of it was done at my personal expense. I do all my video editing, and when it came to Stories of Starcraft, I actually paid out of pocket for a script editor to help me. And all of that was at my expense. I haven't made a single dime off of YouTube. So if you guys do like my content and you do want to support the channel, think about giving me a sub, because if I can hit 1,000 and make some ad revenue, then that opens up a whole lot of doors for me. I know I don't have the biggest channel on YouTube, but even just to see that amount of growth would be amazing, something I never thought was possible. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. See you next time.